Welcome everyone to another episode of Chin Chin. I'm Lisa Fiorito, your host. We're here at Vince & Joe's Gourmet Market with sommelier Ted Ross. He really knows his stuff. Let's check out with him. Ted, it's no surprise, this is the holiday season. People are really looking forward to drinking some delicious wines. Tell us what you have here today.
Time to celebrate, right?
Yes.
So I picked out a couple of selections that I thought really fit the season perfectly. Today we're not so focused on pairing wines and having, correct matches for our perfect meal. We're talking about celebrating and having fun.
To toasting?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. So I guess we could start with sparkling wine, probably the biggest category of the season. I mean, it's the wine that defines celebration. And there's a lot of different styles that we offer here at Vince & Joe's. And let's go ahead and start about Prosecco, probably the most popular and fastest growing style of sparkling wine on the market today. So I've got a couple examples up here. Prosecco is always from northern Italy, Valdobbiadene, Conegliano area of northern Italy. And the grapes that make this wine are called Glera.
Glera.
There'll be a quiz at the end.
Okay, I'm writing this down.
I've got two of my favorites, made in slightly different styles, but very, very nice wines nonetheless. Il Follo and Monticello. So I like to think about Prosecco as just an easy drinking alternative to champagne. And maybe our viewers aren't familiar, but Champagne is a sparkling wine from a very, very specific region in the north of France. Yes, north of Paris. And all sparkling wines are not champagne.
It has to come from that region of France, correct? Yes.
Maybe you said that in reverse. All champagne is sparkling wine, but not all sparkling wine is champagne. So Prosecco is basically your everyday alternative to expensive vintage French champagne.
Okay.
It's generally made in a lighter, fruitier, just easier drinking style, and the prices are definitely, easy to swallow as well.
I noticed this label here. What does this mean?
This is a DOCG label.
Okay.
DOCG stands for Denominazione Origine Controllata Garantita.
Mamma mia.
Mamma mia. Basically what that is a symbol from the Italian government telling you that this wine was made in a correct traditional style.
Wonderful.
It's not really a symbol of quality, but it assures the buyer of this bottle that they got the real deal. The wine, the grapes were grown in the correct region, they were harvested at the correct levels, and the wine was made the right way. So
good to know.
We'll say generally that means quality.
Okay.
Not all the time.
Where are we going next, Ted?
Where are we going? Okay, so after Prosecco, probably one of my favorite style budget sparkling wines is Cava. And think of Cava basically as the Spanish equivalent to Prosecco. So I've got the Cristalino's product right here. This is the extra dry version.
Very good. I've had
extra
that.
Extra dry, yeah, awesome. For the money, you can't beat it. Extra dry being not quite as dry as Brut. A lot of people confuse that sometimes. So if you ever see extra dry on the label, consider it just easy drinking, great for mixing, great on its own. This comes from a coastal region in Spain, made out of a couple grapes called Zalero and Macabeo.
Now, is the Cava also inexpensive, like the Prosecco, less expensive
actually,
than the Champagne?
Most of the time in the U.S., you'll find these to be even priced more aggressively and less expensive than the Prosecco. These are the perfect wines for mixing if you're going to make mimosas or bellinis or any kind of punch, holiday cocktail. Cava's perfect because you get all those really nice qualities of sparkling wine, but you don't have to pay the price.
Awesome.
So mentioning the Bellini, that was actually a drink invented in Venice using Prosecco, so that would be the correct way to make it, but Cava works great as well.
Wonderful.
So, and I guess the final frontier when we're talking about sparkling wine is Champagne, that small little area north of Paris that we just talked about. Very, very strict requirements when you're talking about production of Champagne. There are 3 grape varietals that are permitted to be used in that: Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, and Pinot Meunier, and that's it.
Say those again.
Chardonnay, white grape; Pinot Noir, red grape; Pinot Meunier, red grape.
I can remember that. Okay.
So this is kind of fun to look at right here. This is actually Gruit. This is a producer in New Mexico, an award-winning producer in New Mexico. High altitude area in New Mexico, so you get good acidity, you get lots of temperature swings between day and night, and that's very important for sparkling wine. Reason I brought this up, this is Gruit's Blanc de Noir. We just talked about using red grape varietals in a sparkling wine. But if I open this up and pour it in a glass, you'd see it's white, like what you're drinking right here. Reason being, Blanc de Noir means the white from red, or the white of red. And what the winemaker does here is squash these grapes, take that juice. They don't let it come in contact with the skins of the grapes, which are red and which contain all the pigment. And you've got, in the end, a crystal clear white wine made from red grapes.
Wow.
The Blanc de Noir. So a very popular style of sparkling wine. You'll sometimes see that method used for making white wine, but it's generally used in sparkling wine production.
Fantastic.
So yeah, we were talking about champagne. I've got Drapier up here. This is the Carte d'Or 100% Chardonnay in here, and just a really easy drinking, lighter, fruit-forward style of champagne. Priced under $50 a bottle, which is where you're going to find most of your French champagne starting at. So really, really nice. There's a couple other wines that are really correct for the season and fun as well. This is really cool.
What's this all about?
So,
product of Germany, I see.
Yeah, definitely German. When you look at the label, there's no mistaking this is German. This is Glühwein. Glühwein is a really traditional mulled or spiced red wine served in the outdoor Christkindl Christmas markets in Bavaria. Whether you're in Austria, you're in southern Germany, even northern Germany.
Wow.
So this is a red wine made in a slightly sweet style. And the producers of this go ahead and mull it for you, so all you have to do is take it home and heat it up. It's got cinnamon, clove, and honey sort of flavors to it.
So if you're sitting by the fire, you're trying to get warm, this might be the option for you.
Perfect,
okay.
Yeah. Really, really festive, really fun winter warmer. Just a great little bottle of wine and not priced expensive at all.
What else do we have going on here?
Yeah, this is really cool too. This is from Pelee Island, one of our favorite little producers out of Canada, of the Pelee Island, and this is their cranberry wine.
Wow!
So can't get more festive than that on Christmas, right?
So it's a little sweeter.
Yeah, it's sweet, but it's got a real
tart?
a tart acidic note to it. So it's kind of crisp. It's not something you're going to drink and have to like chew through it. You know, it's snappy and refreshing and crisp. Really good with brie because of that acidity. Really good with goat cheese. It's actually white wine based, and then back sweetened and flavored with the cranberry. So a lot of fun, festive. Again, not expensive.
From our friends in Canada, right?
Yes, exactly. Our friends to the north or south here.
Yeah, it's true. And what about this beautiful bottle here?
This is cool stuff. This is from Piemonte in the north of Italy. This is a grape varietal called Bracchetto. And Bracchetto is a red grape, generally made into a slightly sweet sparkling red wine. So we talked about sparkling white wines. We haven't touched on the red yet. This is to die for with chocolate.
Really?
Yeah, it's the best. You get a real powerful wild strawberry, raspberry kind of flavor there.
Since we're talking a little bit about temperatures, how should I store these wines? This one, for example. Am I going to put this in the refrigerator, or am I going to leave it out?
Yeah, I mean, I think these are safe in the fridge because we're not talking long-term storage. I mean, unless we're getting into real vintage champagne, and the price is going to be indicative of that. These are wines that you're going to consume within a year or two. They're fine in your fridge.
Okay.
I wouldn't worry about storing them in the cellar or aging them because really none of these were meant to age. They're ready to drink right now. So this is a category of wine where you really want to serve cold. It's about as cold as you want to serve any beverage. So
absolutely.
You ever see the tableside ice buckets, wine sitting in there? That's it. That's perfect. Yeah.
Okay.
And then also, if we're talking glassware, we're drinking still wines here today, but a champagne flute is shaped that way for a reason. You want to contain
the coldness, right? The
temperature and the carbonation. The bigger the surface area, the faster that carbonation is going to dissipate. So get that small. It's a small nose where you can really get your nose in there and get the aromatics. Because when you're talking a beverage served as cold as it is, the aromatics are going to be a little harder to find. So
if you're an expert, get the right glasses.
Glassware is very important.
Serve it at the right temperature.
Always, yes. What else? So for dessert, everybody loves port, right?
Oh, I do.
Yeah, we were talking earlier about the home of port, Portugal. I actually grabbed an Argentinian interpretation.
Malbec.
This is to die for with chocolate as well. This is port made out of the Malbec grape, and in Argentina by the Zucardi family in the Uco Valley. So you're talking Mendoza area of Argentina. High elevation, Malbec grapes. Port is a wine that we call fortified. So it's kind of the best of the both worlds. Generally, you've got a winemaker making wine. The yeast that's fermenting the grape juice is converting the sugar that's in that juice into alcohol, and as a result, as that sugar is converted, the wine gets drier. So in a product like this, the winemaker is going to add some distillate, in this case brandy or grape distillate.
Okay.
What that's going to do is stop the fermentation completely, but you've got a lot of residual sugar, a lot of sweetness left over from the grapes themselves, and you get all the alcohol from the brandy. So it's the best of both worlds. It's sweet, it's luscious, it's silky smooth, but it's got a lot of alcohol too. Loves chocolate, once again.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
What about panettone?
Panettone, yeah. This is big during the holidays, especially around here at Vincent Joe's. Yeah. So a sweet Italian sort of cake, bread.
Can be a little dry sometimes, right?
Yeah, and I grew up eating this at breakfast as a kid. Put it in the toaster, put a little butter on there, and it's super easy to drink. A classic pairing with Moscato d'Asti.
Ooh.
Okay, this is Elvio Tintero's interpretation. Moscato d'Asti is not Asti Spumante. A lot of times those are confused.
It's different.
Those totally different.
Totally different.
Asti is a region in Piedmont, in Piemonte. And Moscato is the grape varietal that makes this wine. It's also the grape varietal that makes Asti Spumante. In this case, the main difference is the amount of carbonation. Asti Spumante meaning vigorously bubbled, has a lot of carbonation. This has less carbonation. It's a light, very, very fruit-forward, very sweet, easy drinking style of white wine.
Is it still effervescent?
It is.
Okay.
Slightly.
Slightly.
They would call this frizzante carbonation or level of carbonation. And you can get, you're basically breaking down the amount of carbonation, pressure in this bottle. That's the main differentiation. So these are the perfect match. This is a low alcohol wine that you can serve at breakfast, at lunch, at dinner. It's meant to be consumed frequently and with lighter foods like this, and they work. So
that sounds wonderful.
Great.
You're
Yeah.
with your family maybe the next day for breakfast.
Exactly. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Ted Ross, thank you so much for all of the wonderful information.
Thank
to
you.
all of you, happy holidays. Chin chin.
Chin chin.